right now, look at us. We're falling apart.
Yeah.
There's so much division. There's so much hate and distraction. Because right now we're frozen.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't know what to do. We don't know what to do.
You live your life through your nervous system. And if your nervous system is stuck in protect mode, it's going to be like a red lens glasses, right? And everything's going to seem
That's right.
on fire and protect. You need to, hold tight, hold the fort down.
And we start understanding where that fear comes from. Stop blaming the external on why I'm feeling a certain way, and we move internal. And we ask the questions that 26 generations, what I've been told from spiritual teachers, is what lives inside of us. When you begin to do this work of this self-actualization and reconditioning and healing, that you heal 7 generations back. I'm a walking, living proof of like what awakening looks like.
Welcome to What the Health, where we cut through the noise, we cut through the distraction, and we get to the real true causes of health and healing. And today's guest on What the Health is, I want to spit out on that one. Wow, I was pretty excited, is my good friend, Jamie Kruse. Now, Jamie, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how, how it is we got here in this spot right now?
Yeah, how did we get in this spot?
Oh my gosh, it's been a kind of a long little meandering little trip. It really has. It really has. But no, I actually was introduced to you from one of my previous guests,
Ashley.
Kim Garcia.
No,
Kim Garcia. So I thought it was Kim Garcia, but it was somebody else. But anyway, that was another somebody. But anyway, they had told me about Taurus therapy.
Yes.
And how I needed to. It was Kim Garcia, I do believe, and how we needed to connect. And anyway, so I looked it up and I called you up, and that's kind of where things started.
Yeah, that was like right after COVID.
Yeah.
Right after COVID, yeah. So I'm so excited to be here. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that.
Yeah, that Eric does a great job here. It's a great little spot. It's cozy.
It is. It's really,
good.
really, really nice. So for the listeners, that are listening, I'm a therapist by what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
through the letters,
Yeah.
And then underneath the letters, I just am a space holder. I'm a facilitator. I work with grungy and cringy emotions and help people feel and detangle patterns that they've been conditioned in, their whole lives, and help them see what those patterns are so they can unravel them and become, who they really are on the inside.
That's big.
It's big.
Yeah. That can be scary, though, too.
Very much.
Yeah, to be aware of, our patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when we talked the other week about this, about, coming on the show, the big idea we had was with awakening.
Yes.
Yeah. And go ahead.
We were talking about how you have this amazing ability to see and cut through the bullshit of illusion that presents to us here, right?
Yeah.
All the structures and the things that we're fed
Yeah.
in schools and places and all the things.
All the things. Well, sometimes I get in trouble with that because it sometimes can be a little too rock the boat, earth shattering kind of because, again, when the conditioning is so good that you don't see the conditioning, that can be frightening.
That's right. And so what we were talking about was most people who don't see are really clouded with their own conditioning and with the conditioning that they've been given from society, culture, parents, generational, ancestral, all of the things.
Yeah, generational, ancestral. That's an interesting component because I don't know if you've ever heard of the monarch effect.
Tell me more.
So what they found was that this monarch, the monarch butterfly, they found that it goes from North America down to South America and then back up on its little cycle, right? Yeah. But the lifespan of the monarch butterfly isn't long enough in order to make the full cycle. So they were fascinated by that. How does these monarch butterflies know to go down to South America and then back up if they're not even going to make the whole trip? How do they know A and B and continue to do the same thing for eons and eons? And what they found was that the monarch butterfly passes down its knowledge from through its genetics. So it's like an epigenetic type. You're passing knowledge down. So it's kind of like when you've heard how when your grandma is pregnant, you're actually inside your grandma's womb.
Yes.
Because of the fetus, your mom, and then inside of mom, her eggs are already being formed in the fetus. So the one of those eggs is you, and so you are inside your mom, which is inside grandma's fetus. So that's how then grandma can pass down her things that she's going through, the thoughts, traumas, toxins that she's experiencing get passed down through generation to generation. And so the monarch effect then is essentially that, how our knowledge can be passed down. And that's essentially why kids, when they come out today, they have a smartphone in their hand and they know how to run it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, my body just softened a bit as I was listening to you, because 26 generations, what I've been told from spiritual teachers, is what lives inside of us.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And the conditions need to be ripe for those certain things to come out. But we're based, like our bodies, our DNA, our genes are, that's 26 generations.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, and the DNA, you mentioned the DNA. That's just a physical thing, but I think it's I've read where it's light that ignites the DNA. It's like the spark that makes the hard drive go. And it's the spark of life, the soul that is really activating the DNA.
Yeah.
Huh, that's pretty deep too.
That is.
But
really deep.
Awakening, if you will, awakening. What would you say is one of the hardest things for someone to begin that journey? Or what are, maybe not the hardest thing, sure we can get into that, but what do you think are some of the first steps?
I think the first step is to ask why. Why do I want to do this work? Why do I want to have the spiritual awakening that everyone is talking about, right? Why do I want to sip on ayahuasca? Yeah. Why do I want to go to these sound healings? Why do I want to do this trauma work? Why?
Also, with that, I've seen so many funny like memes and videos where these two people come together and it's essentially a big spoof on awakening and awakened people, and I'm gonna hold the catchphrases, and I've seen one and it was just like, it was funny. And at the same time, because almost like this awakening type thing can almost be a caricature of itself too.
Absolutely.
And at the same time,
another mirage, another illusion, another thing to hide behind. Yes.
Yeah, and the phrase is like, I see you, my soul spiritual, and flying through the rainbow clouds on a galloping steed of unicorn wings. I don't know, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll hold space for you at our next journey to the sound healing bath down in the Tulum, Mexico, where this journey will happen again. The funny, the memifying it.
Yes.
But so that's the funny thing, because you know what? People will look at that and be like, oh, that's too woo-woo.
Way too woo-woo.
Way too woo-woo. So where would be the where the woo-woo meets, I don't know, some concrete, grounding, right? So that people that are more in this physical realm, that everything is like right here, like the only thing they perceive in their life is like right here. But you also don't want to be the person that's clear out here, the woo-woo either. I'm using my hands a lot right now. But where can we bridge this gap so that we can get people out of this like understanding that the world that they're living in is really a socially engineered construct? And maybe not all of it, but how to get out of that without feeling like it's too scary. Because then if you start realizing that, oh my gosh, all these things, are they all a lie? Is everything a lie? And you don't want to be go again, clear over there. But again, the more you start pulling back the veil, the more you're like, oh my gosh, that's a load of crap too. Where does it all end?
Yeah.
So there's got to be somewhere in between where you can pull somebody out and say, all right, have you experienced some of these things in the last 6 years that might make you think that some of the things that we've been told previously in our life might not be the truth? And we don't necessarily need to go over here either, where we're going on a I don't know, a sound healing bath in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, down in the bottom of a pyramid in the tunnels, and then we're gonna, I don't know, meet our maker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Where's there some space in between, and how can we start maybe the process? And you said why.
Yeah, the why. I think that either way we cut it, if we want to go to the Tulum, to the spiritual sound bath, why are we doing that? We're doing that to get away. We're doing that to feel something different. We're doing that to not feel what is happening right here in the middle, is what you're talking about. And the people who can't see, why? Well, we're avoiding, because that would be too much work to kind of go in the middle to see, because if I saw, then I would have to make change. And when I make change, my change affects you, and it affects everybody that I touch. And that change can then therefore change all of the shit that we're in right now. And we can see, and we can ask questions, and we can be curious, and we can start tearing things apart, so that these structures can be torn down that are not working for us anymore. And for the lies to be able to be stood up against, from us, the people, who can do that. But if I stay here and I don't want to see, I can't do that. And if I go over here, I'm not going to do that either. So the why is because we want to change the way that we are as a collective, as a family, our culture, what our values are. I mean, right now, look at us. We're falling apart.
Yeah. There's
so much division. There's so much hate and distraction and avoidance.
It's one like fear-based, like war followed by disease followed by famine. I mean, we're just seeing it right now. The past few days ago, is we're in another war now. It's like it's one more psyop, one more like fear-based, like something to be scared of, something to take our attention, something for us to talk about, something for us to divide us. Are you pro-war? Are you anti-war? All of the stuff. And if you kind of like see, what's behind all of it, you're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And once you kind of see what's behind it, you can maybe then one of the biggest questions I think people have is, well, what can I do?
Right. Well, maybe nothing.
And I think the best answer is just know.
To be. And it is just to literally be and be in peace. And so when I know and when I can see, I can accept the things that are happening. I can make peace with what's happening. I maybe have a different understanding or a different perspective, or I have empathy. I can create more empathy for others that are suffering. I can hold in the suffering. I can be in the suffering. I can be in everything, and also be peaceful in that, and have acceptance and grace for what's happening. And so we become, I think, in that more sovereign, more able to tap in and to to help myself feel through what is happening. Because right now we're frozen.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. But if we can just be with ourselves and have the ability to be able to really see what's happening, it gives us some kind of understanding, and we can just be, and then we can live our lives. And maybe we find purpose through all of that, and then that helps the greater cause. It's not going to be an overnight thing.
Yeah. I think one of the most powerful things that we can do is just say no. It's just like, no, I'm not going to participate.
Right.
You have to wear the mask. No. You have to take the jab.
Right.
No. You have to fall in line. No, I'm just
why,
not going to play.
And why? And if I don't do that, if I don't do those things, then I get to live my life without fear.
Yeah.
And there's so much that is in this life that is great and sweet and juicy and nectar, right? That's the word that I wanted to use, beyond all of that fear.
Yeah. It's a perpetual state of fear. And until you've take a step outside and see it from the outside and say, oh my gosh, that's a fear-based protocol. That's a fear-based protocol. And you start seeing that it's all, and then when you're in fear-based, you are in protection mode, you're in reptilian mind mode. Mm-hmm. You are not using the thinking part of the brain. The frontal cortex is inaccessible when you are in a continual state of panic and fear and unknowing.
And I can't enjoy anything in that. Nothing.
No.
I'm in frozen, I'm in fight, or I'm in flight.
Mm-hmm.
Or fawn.
Yeah.
And
Feign. I think it's called feign. Possum.
Yes.
Like possum.
Yeah.
Everything starts.
And there's no enjoyment.
No.
And there's no pleasure.
No. You know, that's, have you ever heard of Porges? Stephen Porges? I think it's Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's the very base rudimentary parasympathetic metabolic type functions just to keep you alive, breathing, digestion, those base functions. Yeah. And then you have the sympathetic nervous system, which gets you moving, fight or flight, but motion, movement, moving to kill your prey, moving to run away from a problem, procreation, all of the stuff, being able to move. And then there was the third layer, and it had to do with I hate the word evolutionary, but how the systems evolve in a we're coming from monkeys evolutionary way, but just, anyway. The third layer is the social parasympathetic. I think it was the ventral vagal. There was the dorsal vagal, the ventral. It doesn't matter, but there was the three layers. And the last one was the social nerve, if you will, the social engagement. Social engagement.
Connection.
Yes. And that's the higher level of the nervous system. So we had the base rudimentary parasympathetic, the sympathetic to move and whatever, and then the social upper level parasympathetic.
Yes.
And when you see this in
vagus nerve.
Yeah. And you see this playing out in people, the first thing that happens when there's a event is we try to talk, whether it's screaming or discussing. There's a social type trying to figure out the situation best we can.
Yes.
And then if that doesn't work, we get, you know what? Let's take this for babies.
Okay.
Babies work perfect. These work great because it's a perfect analogy, all right? So babies are going to cry, or they might coo, or there's some trying to be social to let people know that, hey, I got some poop in my diaper.
Yeah.
Or I'm hungry.
Yes.
Right? So there's the first level, and if that doesn't work, there's the fight or flight. That's where the crying and the fear and the full-on cries, right? Mm-hmm. And then people say, well, you just got to let them cry it out, when they're going to sleep, because when they cry it out, pretty soon they're just going to fall asleep and be quiet. Well, that many times, not every time, but sometimes after that fight or flight, it's that base level, which is you play possum.
You shut
you
down.
shut down.
That's right.
That's feigning.
Yes.
Fawning.
And so think about this. We learn these responses at such a young age. I mean,
Yeah.
starting at day one,
Yeah.
our nervous systems are learning how to run.
Yeah. Processing.
Yes.
Downloading.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how is it? What's cool about neuroplasticity is that neurons that fire together wire together. And so then if we've got this baby that's in, that's kind of downloading and processing, and it made a connection to a fear-based trauma, and then all of a sudden it now wires that way. We've got this, and say that happens they say that there's an old Chinese proverb or some sort of proverb that says, if you have a boy to 7, you'll see the man.
Ooh.
First 7 years of your life, when all of the priming and downloading and everything is going on, it's going into the hard drive. It's going into the computer. It's downloaded in.
And that reminds me too, and my spiritual teachers have said, when you begin to do this work of this self-actualization and reconditioning and healing, that you heal 7 generations back. So there it is again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Patterns. So what? So somebody says they have their why. What would they want to? I don't know. Have a better relationship. They want to.
I don't want to live in so much fear.
Yeah,
How about
I want to get through the trauma.
Yeah. I can't even take what's going on in the world right now. Like, I'm going to come into Jamie's office and just spill the fear. Right? It can be as simple as that. And we start understanding where that fear comes from. We start stop blaming the external on why I'm feeling a certain way, and we move internal. And we ask the questions that, where is that fear coming from? What is that fear? How old is that fear? How long has that fear been there? How many other times have you had this fear, maybe in similar situations or circumstances? We start to find the patterns. We start to find the root. We start to untangle the mess, the conditioning, because that fear was based from some kind of trauma, some kind of wounding, whether that be generational, that's just a belief that my parents had, whether that be cultural, something that the society or my culture has put on me, or something that has happened to me, just one-on-one, a trauma, maybe within my family context or my peer group or something that got me stuck in some kind of fear base. Because we don't come from fear. We come from light. Mm-hmm. We come from that spark that you spoke about a little bit ago, that spark of the soul. Like, we're clear. But when we come into this world, we're not. It's kind of like the biblical, we were born with sin.
Yeah.
We're born here, because we're this walking program of 26 generations, and so we can find those patterns too, energetically and through spiritual practices and through talk therapy who's going to ask you actually questions to be curious and not try and fix you, so that you can really find the answers within. And so then we rewire, we repattern, we search the patterns, we find the patterns, we change the patterns. And neuroplasticity, we build new neural networks, a new way. We work with your nervous system. We rewire your nervous system. And that's where your and my work come hand in hand.
So how are you doing it on your end? Because I know what I'm doing on our end, on the chiropractic end, to help rewire things, but through a counseling point of view, what are some of the, techniques or ways that you can help somebody rewire? Is it sheerly through awareness? Because that's big enough as it is just being aware, because many times it's being utterly blind. And I know too that I was blind to so many things. You know what? That's the hard part, Jamie. That's the hard part is when I saw what I was blind to, and I saw how I was understanding a certain way of how I thought and I thought. And then, when you see that might not be true, like, oh, all right. And so I remember seeing things for the first time.
Yeah.
Let's say that. I don't remember what my question was going to be. Is that a difficult process? Because when you see things that you hadn't seen before, how can you then express it to, say, maybe others that don't quite see it without sounding like you're some sort of wackadoodle that's out there in Tulum and down in the pyramid basement smoking peyotes?
Yeah. Yeah. Such a, there's my mind is going in all these circles because there's a lot of different ways to answer this. So your original question was, how do I repattern those? How do I do that in my therapy practice? And then, then it kind of went to, well, is it just awareness? Can it be just as simple as that? And it can be. When I can see a pattern within myself, and I see it play out in all of these situations or these relationship patterns, and I can see it, and then I learn to pause. But I have to learn to pause. I have to train my nervous system to pause before I act, because I'm going to act in the way that my old system was wired. And so when you're getting excited, when you learn to pause, when you see the pattern, you can then use discernment to act differently. And that discernment is based on my highest good and the good of everybody involved. And then that changes everything right then and there. So we have all these techniques, but it's really simple when you have a good guide that can really guide you to see those patterns. And we use EMDR, eye movement reprocessing, desensitization, when we have a single trauma that needs to just move. If I have a belief and I find where I received that belief, so to speak, from whatever wound or
Mother,
trauma
father,
that happened,
preacher,
whatever it
how
was,
we, say that,
yeah, and we use EMDR to go into that initial feeling state of when that happened, so that we can move that feeling state through the body. Because when we have trauma, those emotions, everything that I was sensing from a peripheral, standpoint outside in my environment, my nervous system is soaking all of the senses, what's happening, the action, the movement, the sound, everything. It's digesting in my nervous system. And if I'm frozen and I don't fight or flight or fawn, I can't discharge anything. And so when I'm frozen, that information stays stuck in my nervous system until the moment passes and I get regulated again. And then it travels up to the brainstem, and then who the hell knows where it goes? I don't know. But that's essentially where trauma starts. And when we find that base belief, where that stemmed from, the memory, all of it, we can start to move that. We can move that from that frozen state and move it and discharge it out through the body.
With the EMDR.
Yeah.
Now your eyes are actually between your eyes and your spine, they're the two most direct ways to your brain. And when we're seeing things and processing them, my favorite line from the Gorillas, you don't see with your eyes, you perceive with your mind. I love that line. It just hits me every time because, and again, it's our mind that's perceiving this reality. And if we can then use this EMDR to have direct access into the brain to help move some of these traumas around, that's really positive. And the one thing that I do at my office is help people with the processing of traumas as well. But instead of going through the eyes, we go through Atlas. Right. And we help that nervous system calm down. It's not like I've got a whole lot of I'm not, giving them the emotional talking therapy or whatever. We're just allowing the brain to feel safe enough and calming the nervous system down through the spine so that maybe we have more access to the frontal cortex and we can actually maybe see things differently, because you live your life through your nervous system. And if your nervous system is stuck in protect mode, it's going to be like a red lens glasses, right? And everything's going to seem
That's right.
on fire and protect. You need to, hold tight, hold the fort down. But if we can change that lens.
That's right.
To a yellow lens. Have you ever looked through yellow lenses? They're amazing. It's like a sunshiny day, even if it's cloudy out there. So if we can just shift that lens, calm the nervous system down, so maybe we can begin to process things differently. And then, you know what? How about then, once we tap that Atlas, calm the nervous system down, then maybe our frontal cortex is more accessible to other therapies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can talk through some things and maybe gain access and clarity and maybe bring a little more awareness to what is, because if we are seeing the things and seeing the world through the same stressed out lenses, we aren't going to be able to be aware of what's behind the curtain.
I'm going to even add a different spin to this, because you said maybe we can add additional therapies. But I'm just going to be curious. Maybe it's not different therapies. Maybe the settling of the nervous system brings presence.
Yeah.
And in presence, when I'm in the moment, when my nervous system is dialed down enough and I'm regulated and all my systems are working in top notch, I can see what's happening in front of me with all my senses. I'm not being triggered by anything. And when I'm in the moment, I can see the truth. I can see what's happening in front of my eyes, and I can feel presence of something much greater than myself. And that's that social connection that you were talking about, that vagus nerve. When we have access to that, we have access to higher realms, higher knowledge, higher connection,
higher levels of consciousness.
Yes, it's connection.
I got that one from Tulum.
It's perfect. That's why they go there, though, because they want to feel that presence, that higher. But we can feel it every day. We don't need to go to Tulum to go to see or feel all of those things. We don't even necessarily need all of these healing modalities. We have it right here. It's all right here. Once we learn how to calm.
You said pause.
I did. And you got excited when I said that.
I did get excited because I like music, and I use music as analogies in chiropractic. And one of the things is being in tune.
Yeah.
Right? And being in tune. And another word is tone. And D.D. Palmer, the founder of chiropractic, founded chiropractic. The principle of chiropractic was founded on tone. That's it. Neurological tone. That's how chiropractic was formulated, and that's where it starts.
And you know how we do that in my practice?
How's that?
Om.
Yeah, it's the sound.
It's stimulating the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
Tone.
If you have too much tone, it's sharp. If you don't have enough tone, it's flat. Yes. And that's music.
Yes.
What's also important with healing is rhythm. Since I'm a drummer. Ba-dum, boom, whatever. So rhythm is important because neurons that fire together wire together. And if you have a rhythm and a frequency and a pace that then wires that, together.
Yes.
We just that can be a good thing. That can be a great
That's
thing.
synergy, man. Now,
Yeah, right.
I'm so giddy.
Yeah, but watch. What if that's not going towards the flowers and the fields and the unicorns and the rainbows and our best life? What if that rhythm is going towards fear and hell?
Right.
There's two paths. All right. But okay, rhythm. Let's go back to rhythm. I don't want to go to that other hell path.
Yeah.
So rhythm is important. And also when we're thinking about music and rhythm, think about like these songs. Sometimes they're just like, there was a song by The Heavy. They were a band anyway. And the song's called, I'm going to get it. How You Like Me Now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you like me now?
And it's something like that.
that.
So there's a time in this song where there's just a chord. I don't even know if it's a chord or it might be an eighth note break. Mm-hmm. And then it comes right. It's like it's a freight train. And it stops for a quarter of a note and then picks up and takes off again. Mm-hmm. And like those little breaks, the pauses, the rests in a song, especially when there's all the energy before and after, that pause is deafeningly silent. And it's powerful. It's louder than the music. And if we can figure out how to pause,
yes,
we can then get back on that freight train. Instead of that train going towards hell, we can just pause and do a little redirect. But sometimes that redirect is a big slap in the face.
Yeah.
But the pause is important so that we can get it rhythm and frequency the other direction.
And the pause can be short and it can be long.
Yeah, it can be 6-7 bars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm in a pause right now. And I've been in a pause for 5-6 months to get my frequency right. To shed what I need to shed to get my frequency right. So that I can be synergistic. Because when we flow like that, when we can all come together, can you imagine what would happen?
Yeah. It'd be a hell of a lot easier.
Oh my gosh.
You know, when you're in the zone and you're with the, I have also heard, nothing you want is upstream. And if you just decide to go with the flow, you'll go so much further.
With the flow, every day in the flow, and every day I wake up and what is today going to bring? I have no idea. I have my calendar.
Yeah.
I kind of know who's going to come in. I check it in the morning right before I come in usually. Mm-hmm. I have no plan. I have no control. The only control I have is over myself and how I want to be today and how I want to be in relationship, not only with others, but with myself. How do I want to treat myself? How do I want to be connected with myself so that I can connect to others?
Yeah. Here's a question though. If nothing we really want is upstream and it's downstream and it's just easier to find the wave and get on that wave and go with the flow, you probably accomplish more. Where does the idea of perseverance, never give up, the best things in life aren't easy? Yeah. Where does that fall in then, right?
Discipline,
because discipline isn't something that holds you down and it's not this slave driver. Discipline actually gives you freedom.
Yeah. That's a great question. Because it kind of when I think about or hear the word discipline or push through it or perseverance or any of these things, like it gets grit. It's tough, and it is.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be sitting here if any of this was easy.
Yeah.
It's hard work. The discipline comes in as the discipline to myself. So I've rephrased discipline as devotion to Jamie. How am I going to love myself that discipline for myself. And what do I really learning what I need to be to wake up with my best self coming out. So do I need to have a practice in some shape, way, form so that I can reconnect to myself, so that I can be in connection, feeding myself with what I need to get through life, because life is the tough part. It's the things that are happening around me that I can't control. That's hard. And so if I need to build myself up to be strong spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, to withstand life and what it has for me, I need to be disciplined to myself. For me, that's the hard work.
Yeah. And sometimes that's the saying no part. That's the...
Of course.
Because there are a lot of distractions.
Yes.
Not participating and just saying, no, I'm not going to. No.
Yes.
For your own self, to hold your self, your flame, and your power. But, yeah.
And we keep going. Like when I'm in connection with myself, and I'm in connection with my purpose. And every purpose is purpose. Like I'm here for my family. I'm here for how I serve, how I work, or there's so many purposes, right? We all have them. No, none is bigger or smaller. We're all purposeful. We're all working together. But when I have that purpose and I know that, I can nourish that.
Yeah.
And when I know that and it's affecting so many other people in my life, I can see all of those blessings. I can be in gratitude, and I know that I have worth, and I know that I deserve to be here. Then I'm going to be such more of a better person. I'm not devoting myself to those things. I can be a slave to money. I can be a slave to my house. I can be a slave to my big boats or my nice cars or whatever. Is that going to bring you internal happiness? What if those things got ripped away?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have peace. So if I have it in here and it's coming from here, then my internal world, if it's peaceful, then my external world is going to be peaceful. If my internal world is built on beauty, then my external world is going to be on beauty. And I'm going to have those beautiful things. I'm going to have a nice car. I'm going to have a nice house. I'm going to have nice things because I'm it.
Yeah. I think there was a phrase in the scripture. It says the kingdom of heaven is within you. And if you can start to just, nourish and appreciate that. And then also that can be a slippery slope as well, because it's not saying that like we're God or anything.
Right.
That's where there can be some, like I said, slipperiness. But here's the thing. If you start appreciating and loving yourself and realizing that the kingdom of heaven is within you, God is within you, and then you start appreciating God as the all-knowing, all-being, and that, it just having a little more appreciation for that.
Yes.
And realizing that there is purpose.
Yes.
And connecting with the higher levels of consciousness and God and
Yes.
all of it, then
Yes.
we might be able to see through the matrix that is.
That's right. That's right. And yes. And I also want to add, just for anybody listening, that we all have different paths and it all looks very different. And my path they're just all different, and I'm learning different things, and I'm at different paces. I'm at different, we're all at different places in our lifetimes, and karma and all of those things that I want to talk about, but I'm not going to here. But we have all these different circumstances, and I can't compare your growth to my growth, because that would really put me at a disservice, and that we can all be appreciative of where we're at in our certain time and have that connection that you're talking about, no matter where we're at on the path. Yeah.
Yeah. Awakening.
Awakening.
It's awakening.
Awakening.
It can be scary.
It can be. And that's why when I have clients come into my office, I often talk about community. You know, I have such a deep connection with community because it's helped me on my own journey, and watching people who are going through this awakening process. And when I first started watching them doing it all alone, and then understanding that this is not an alone process. When you start to see things, not only internally, but now as I get clear on the inside, I now start to see the outside, and I start to question so many things. And I feel like I'm going, you know, I don't want to say the word, but
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy.
Yes. And who do I have to talk to? You know, who do I have to share these experiences with?
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah.
And who do I have to also share the experiences of the blessings that come to, the synchronicities that I see, the flow that happens, the connection that I see from you to me to all of these people, and that makes me feel somewhat crazy too.
Yeah,
you know. So community is key.
Yeah,
to have people who are like-minded, who are going through the process in the spiritual awakening that we're having.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing was I started reading the Bible a lot more over after 2020, and then some things were coming up, and I started realizing that a lot of the quote unquote science that I had learned in school. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not anti-science, and I was like, "Gosh, that is the programmed language that we're supposed to." What are you, anti-science? Are you one of those anti-vaxxers? Are you one of those? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you start realizing the social engineering that's behind those words that have. Yeah. Anyway, I started realizing that there was more truth in the Bible than what I had ever thought of before, and that more truth in that than in a lot of the science books and school books that I had read over the years. And then that was a aha. And then I was going down the rabbit hole of, well, who made up all the books of the Bible, and why is it just these 66? And that's a pretty weird number, 66 books of the Bible. And what about the Book of Enoch and So then there's all of those questions that I have and that I ask, and but I still come back to scriptures, you know, and has scripture been altered? Depending on which version you get.
Exactly.
So there's all of those questions too. But then again, I still come back that, you know what, I still think there's more truth in this scripture than the garbage that we've been given through Rockefeller and all of that educational Department of Education stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw myself out there and say that I believe that there's many truths to one truth.
Yeah.
And what is that one truth? What do all the scriptures, spiritual teachings, religions, you know, where do they point to? Where do they ultimately go to? It's usually one truth.
Yeah.
And I view it as we all have, it's like a language, like we all speak. When you come back to your nervous system and you come back to like the tone, if we come back to, ooh, I'm getting excited, that then translates to energy.
Yeah.
And I'm emitting a frequency.
Yes.
And so my voice, my tone, how I speak, the words that I use are all a frequency.
Yes.
And who's listening to me is going to be dialed into my frequency. And so we can have many truths to one truth. And it's those who are listening are going to hear that truth. If we can all get on the same page of what that one truth is, we all have different opinions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's love, fear. Love, fear.
Yeah.
It's polarity. God, devil.
Yeah.
You know, division. Democrat, Republican.
Yep.
Power. Who gets more power? Who do we feed? Who do we feed?
Which wolf, right?
Which wolf? Yeah.
Oh, That's a lovely little journey right there, Miss Jamie.
Yes, it's so fun.
Yeah. So where would people go from here? So say somebody says, "Gosh, some of these things you're talking about sound pretty groovy, or sound like I'd like maybe some help figuring some things out because I'm stuck in a journey. I'm maybe stuck in fear. I know that there's something off, and I just don't know where to go, where to take the next step. Who do I talk to? I don't know. Like what? How would people find you?"
Yeah. Well, that's a great question because I don't even know how to find myself anymore. I'm in this huge transition right now.
Yeah.
I'm shedding, all the belief systems and the structures that were built on those belief systems. So I'm a walking, living proof of like what awakening looks like. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right in the middle of it
So
right
I'm
now.
right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So people can find me right now if they search Taurus therapy. And Taurus is spelled Taurus, like the energy field.
I was going to say like the Taurus field because that's where everything is anyway.
That's where everything is.
Gosh, let's go back to Taurus for a second as soon as you finish your little thing.
Yeah. Well, Taurus therapy, Taurus Center for Integrative Healing. And one more. It's Living from the Heart Coach.com. That's my newer website that I'm playing around with. And
awesome.
Yeah, membership site soon to come with community teaching, both live teaching, written teaching, community aspect. Yeah, so one-on-one sessions and ceremonies too I do. So when people are crossing different thresholds of life.
Yeah.
In these transitions.
Yeah. These transitions.
Okay, Taurus.
Yeah. Well, you see it, a Taurus field, and there's a Taurus field around, Earth, and there's a Taurus field around us as human beings. There's Taurus fields around DNA, a chromosome. There's Taurus fields around everything, and essentially it's that out, back, and around, and it keeps, feeding that circuit.
Yes.
It's a circuit. And
of energy. Yes.
Did I tell you about the egg experiment and the water experiment? Speaking of energy and Taurus fields.
Now, if I told you yes, there wouldn't be a story to tell.
Well, just pretend. No, I've never heard that before in my life.
No.
Go on. Do tell.
Please tell.
Well, remember that time when I was telling you about the egg and the water? Well, let's pretend that you never heard it that one time.
So wait.
All right, great. Dr. Emoto. People may have heard of him, especially people that understand, maybe energy, frequency, and vibration, and people that have kind of been into that world, if you will. There's Dr. Emoto. I don't know the guy's first name. It's not Bill, but it's something. And what he did is he kind of like flash froze these water droplets, water molecules. No, they were kind of droplets, whatever. Yes, droplets.
Droplets.
But, yes. And what he would do is he would hold on to a glass of water and he would say, "I love you.
Yes.
Thank you. You're amazing." Whatever.
Positive affirmations.
Yep,
yes.
affirmation. And then he would take a little water droplet, he would flash freeze it, and poof, beautiful, perfect, crystalline, geometric formations, like sacred geometry, perfect formations. And then he would take another glass of water and he would say, "I hate you and you suck," and all of the negative things, right? And then he would flash freeze those drops, and it would be a very distorted, not crystal, just this distorted shape that was not like a snowflake, beautiful crystal, right? So essentially meant that water holds energy. And he didn't have to talk to it. He could put it on a piece of paper. There could be "I love you" written on a piece of paper and put the glass on the piece of paper, and it would do the same thing. Or we would pray over the water, and he would pray over polluted water. And so the polluted water would even show beautiful crystalline formation in all this poisonous junk. So it was a powerful experiment on how our thoughts affect how much of a percentage of the human body water? I mean,
90.
it's some, 70%, 80%, 90%. I don't know, whatever they want to say. But it's a pretty good chunk.
Mm-hmm.
So if our water, and so if our body's mostly water and our thoughts have a lot of pollution and hateful thoughts in them, that's literally changing the structure of our body, and it's changing the structure of ourselves. And that's through science called cymatic patterns. That energy, frequency, and vibration, every single frequency has a three-dimensional structure that's associated with it. So the I love you frequency that goes into the water, puts it into the water, structures the water. Now it has this beautiful structured, geometrically precise pattern, crystalline formation that rocks this world. So that's Dr. Emoto. This other lady that took a lot of the same stuff that Emoto did and did some water experiments, also did some experiments with the chicken egg. Oh, that's right. You've already heard this, but that's all right. Thanks for pretending like you.
No. What story?
Thanks for pretending like you, like this is interesting. But so this lady has these eggs, and she took the albumin, the chicken white, the egg white, and flash froze, kind of the same sort of technique that Dr. Emoto used, and flash froze the egg whites of two different kinds of eggs: a store-bought factory-raised egg and a free-range, happy-go-lucky chicken that eats crickets and watches that unicorn fly over the sky. So what you found was this: is that the store-bought egg, the egg white, had, again, they did the crystal thing, and it had the not good formation, wasn't very formed, and it was just not structured very well at all. And then she flash froze the happy-go-lucky egg and farm fresh egg, and it made, again, that crystalline formation, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, so this is a happy chicken making happy eggs and happy proteins, and these are farm-raised, factory-raised chickens that are in pens and given jabs and pet poisons and crappy food and jabs of this and this, that, and the other. Because this toxic, fear-ridden chicken creates a fear-ridden, disgusting body, huh?
Yeah.
And chicken egg, which is the next generation.
Yeah.
Maybe we can spout up. All right. So this is what they found, is that if this farm fresh egg, they put it in the center, and then they put a dozen eggs around it and left them overnight to see what would happen. And then they tested the egg whites again. And what they found is that the store-bought egg whites started getting more, it wasn't as nice as the farm egg, but the egg white started, it started changing. So when they froze the egg white, it started forming these not as beautiful as the farm fresh egg, but it was shifting into that. And this is the cool part. The farm fresh egg didn't lose its geometric, precise structure. The dozen eggs, all dozen of them, started shifting their structure of their water and proteins, without saying a word, without touching. Just the energy of that egg transmitted into the other eggs, meaning that just a person that starts to awaken and transforms their mind and sees beyond the BS of this world can start to affect the other people of the people around them, not even with words, not with force, not with anything, just with your being and how you resonate. Can I get a whoop whoop? That's fun.
That's coherence.
That's coherence. And that's what the whole purpose of Vital Wellness Center is about, is bringing these kids that are so neurologically damaged, that have so many behavioral issues, that have so much immune system issues, and it affects the family and the family dynamic and the happiness of mom and dad and all the kids all around. And if we can just get mom, the main hen, chicken layer, egg person, and if mom can start to resonate better, because that's one of the key things, is mom resonating better.
And it's not with over responsibility. It's releasing those over responsibility beliefs that a mother has to just be, to learn how to just be.
Yeah.
And when she can just be, she resonates this power that can change everything in her living environment.
But let's think about a lot of the moms that are around in our west suburban Chicagoland suburbia land.
Yes.
Yeah. The more and more, faster, keep up with the Joneses. I got to have these lips. I got to have those, I'm not going to say it, all the stuff, the SUV, the picking up the kids, the doing this and putting them in sport, all of the things that we think that we have to do. And then that's extremely dysregulating. And then that has the potential then to affect the nest. And if we can help, but here's the other part. Moms get stressed by their kids and their kids' health and well-being. So if we can start to help the kids and we can start to teach mom and dad about what is causing this dysregulation, what are the things that we have to give up and let go of as far as for our teaching, our indoctrination, our thoughts of what is healthy and what is not healthy, the things that we have to do to keep our kids safe. Maybe some of the things that we've been taught through our entire lives is the exact stinking opposite. And can you imagine how scary it is for a parent to start to understand that the things that we were told by our doctors and pediatricians might be the exact same thing that's causing this massive uptick in neurological disorders, in chronic diseases, in autoimmune problems. But these are the people that we trust. Mm-hmm. How traumatic is it to say, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? Or that can't be true. Or, we start to protect ourselves, our inner being, because that then it's who we are. It's what we've thought. It's what we've been taught to believe.
It's what we know. It's the only thing that we know.
So that then comes back to the awareness and the awakening. And that's what I want our patients and this world, and not just our patients, it's anybody listening.
Listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be tough.
So tough. And I think that's it's a testament to what you're doing, because as a listener, to know that I've got somebody that's kind of mentoring the process and teaching.
I got your back.
I've got your back. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Even if it's not tangible, like you're not, I'm not touching you through the screen, but
yeah.
I know, I deeply know that process. And I also deeply know that once you get through it, that there's so much liberation.
It's freedom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. And more and more and more of it, but there's cost to that.
Yeah.
And we get to determine how we want to be free and how much we want to cultivate that, and where's the stopping sign for me, right?
Yeah.
We all have
to
sovereignty. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
But I think the cool thing is that it doesn't take it just takes the pause, it takes the presence, the reflection, and
awareness.
That's the word I was looking. The awareness.
The awareness.
And to be aware, we have to just pause.
Yes.
And take a look.
Yes.
And say, all right.
Be skeptical.
Yeah.
Be curious.
Be curious.
Yes.
Be curious. Mm-hmm. Why would this person think like that? Are they really that crazy?
Right.
Let's maybe they are, but you know what? Let's maybe gain some understanding, because the things that I found out in this short little life of mine is that the things that I was told to stay away from and that were going to be dangerous, and that, that the world is going to say, oh gosh, don't look there. Only weirdos look there. Pseudoscientists, don't even look. Because if you look, even if you look, you're not cool. You're going to get ostracized. It's not even, you don't even want to look there. Mm-hmm. Because only crazy people look there.
Mm-hmm. And there it begins.
Yeah.
There the programming begins.
Yeah. So I like looking, and I like being curious. And if then I make the decision.
Mm-hmm. Take what resonates and leave the rest, right?
Yeah. And you know what? If I say that, oh gosh, you know what? I think that is pretty darn crazy. I'll let it be crazy. And if I say, gosh, that seems to make a little sense, maybe. Is there anything more?
Right.
Is that it? And that's another thing that I've learned over this thing too. Is that's it? This is what I was supposed to be afraid of?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This?
Yes.
You made it look like this big old boogeyman, that there was going to be death, destruction, disease. And you mean to tell me that that's that's not it.
Right.
There's another option, and this over here. Wow, that's it. Huh? So yeah, the pause, the reflection, so that we can really gain some understanding.
And shift a whole lot of lives.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been a wonderful conversation, Miss Jamie.
Yes, me too.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. Is there anything else that we want to share?
Anything else? I don't know.
All right. Well, let's wrap this one up. I want to
right.
thank you all for watching What the Health, and we'll be back soon.